we have to remember that when the two world wars took place, the population of the world were only 2 billion people. Today we are 7 billion. And so we have to keep this hope. But also I remember when I was in Assisi, St. Francis Monastery for the 20th anniversary of the initiative of the previous Holy Father, one for the religious leaders where they are all of them, they emphasize their role today in the world. But the important thing is to see also an eternal unity of the religions. For example, now we started the preparation of the General Assembly of the World Council of Churches next year in Busan. It's every 6 years in this conference for the people they don't know. And the majority of the Christians are not going to be there. So we have to find ways how to see also the visible unity of the Christians to show their commitments, and then on the level, not of the leadership, but also of the level of the people living in one area, how to come out and to have a common voice. We have to remember that all of us, in the eyes of God, we are His own children, in not to be, for example, baptized as a Christian or to belong in another one religion. For us, when somebody is breathing, it has communion with God. And so we have to find ways how to protect the body of the humanity. And then we have to find ways how to influence the parties, the governments, to give the message that for us, we have to see the whole planet and the whole humanity as one body, and when there is a suffering member, the whole body is at risk. We cannot speak about health in body. This is very simple, but we have to find ways how to get this message. And of course, we respect their intention to protect their national interests, but above all, they have to protect also the whole body of the planet. And so we have to be sensitive on human rights. Any sort of violation of human rights in any part of the world today is a punishment for the whole humanity, for our security. We have this phenomenon of terrorism. Doesn't matter if you are in New York or in London or in India or in any other part of the world, in Nairobi. I mentioned some of the places where innocent people suffer of this tolerance. And then you see, for the last 30 years, there is not a strong government, for example, in Somalia, and a small problem looks to be huge. What is the role there of the African Union, for example? The United Nations is divided the international community. There are only how many countries in the Security Council, and they cannot stop the civil war in Syria, and innocent people are dying every day. And then, in the same way, we have to see our role about the problem of the climate crisis. When there is lack of respect to protect nature, this is a punishment for all of us, and especially for our children. If my sister here allows me, I'm going to use in another one event, she emphasized that when we fail to protect nature, when we protect nature, nature protects us. And this is a good slogan to realize our role as religious people. And finally, I like to emphasize about social justice and climate change. For example, today in Europe, in the United States, in Canada, in Australia, the citizens there, they produce about 12 tons of dioxide every year. In Africa, where I live in Zimbabwe, and in Asia, in some countries where they suffer because of the colonial era, they produce the people there 2 tons every year. But if we fail to see their problems, our problems, these people who produce now 12 tons are only 1 billion. The other people are 6 billion. So if we leave them to follow the example of the other ones, the whole situation will be out of control. We are going to commit a sort of suicide, a massive suicide, the whole humanity. So we have to sit down and to work carefully. In the statement of the World Council of Churches, there was a special reference today how to be sensitive, avoiding outstanding high prices. We have to take into account what is the income of a family, and according to this income to be able to buy the food for their children. So we cannot blame anybody for this problem of the immigration today. If the people, they have everything in their house, where to go out? I remember when there was the Turkish invasion in Cyprus in 1974, and there were 200,000 people, refugees. Most of them left their small island to come to work in this country in order to survive, and to other countries. Nobody likes to live from his house. And we have to blame our political leadership. Unfortunately, the voice of the church, the voice of the religion is very weak, and the only reason to be powerful is to go to speak to our people, at least to work together for some social problems. Thank you very much.